Hi everybody, old guy here, and I'm feeling particularly lazy today, so I decided to do another random shelf dig. So it's going to be this one up here instead of that one. But don't be surprised if you've seen the first random shelf dig if items from here ended up here, because I just put things anywhere I can. Alright, what do we have? Well, already the first two items by Whoop Monkey and the American University Cup, which you did see already, but not this. This is my bear. When I was driving a school bus one Valentine's Day, my kids gave this to me. Alright, the Arbor Treasury of Science Fiction. Robert Silverberg and Martin Greenberg, and it's according to this, short novels, but so that would explain why it seems so thick. Let's see, how many pages does this thing have? 749. Yeah, quite a lot of reading. Who's in it? Well, let's see. We've got Wyman Gwynn, Robert Heinlein by his bootstraps. The Golden Helix, Theodore Sturgeon. Dio, Damon Knight. Quite a good lineup. The Summer Fletcher Creel Loved Me. Suzanne Kingsbury. I have not read this yet, but I will. Comics, graphic novels. This first one, some of you may know, is set in Vietnam. It's called 68. I picked it up at a Monster Con. And the rest of these, well, Captain America. I think I got another Captain America. Yes. First one was Winter Soldier. This is Captain America Reborn. And an X-Men. And of course, Iron Fist. I loved Marvel. In fact, I learned to read with the Marvel comics. I was 5-6 years old and would take my weekly allowance of 25 cents and run up to Carl's drugstore with the kid next door who was a few years older, and would buy 2 Marvels and a pack of Topps gum, which always had a baseball card in it. Then would run back to his porch and sit on the back, and I would go, hey, what's that word? What's this word? What's that? So parents, don't put the comics down. They may be helpful. Paperback version of Anna Karenina. I read it. I actually like the Sebastopol stories much better. I think they're his best writing, even better than War and Peace. Another collection. This is Transcendental Adventures. That was edited by Terry Carr, and there's only 3, I guess, novellas in this. Let's see, we got a Robert Silverberg, and that one is The Feast of St. Dionysus. And then we have My Brother Leopold by Edgar Pangborn. And then Something Absolutely Unpronounceable by Roger Zelazny. A We Were There book. This one's The Invasion of Normandy. I loved these when I was a kid. There were several of them in our little library in Lawton, Oklahoma at B.C. Sweeney Elementary, and every time a new one came in, I grabbed it. I think I saw this one about 3 or 4 years ago, and of course had to grab it. Clayton Knight is the writer, but I think actually those were compilation writers, sort of like the Nancy Drew books. Come on, get this right. The 82nd always wins its battles. Isaac Asimov compilation of some fantasy novels, which seems a little odd, but Who have we got in here? We have Poul Anderson, Sir H. Rider Haggard, Fritz Lieber, Ill Met in Lankmar, so that's got to be a Grey Mouse story, and a Michael Moorcock, The Lands Beyond the World, and, of course, a Jack Vance. Haven't read this yet, but I'm going to. I've already reviewed this on this channel before, and if I could figure out how to actually add video cards to my video, I'll guide you to it. I picked this up at either a base exchange or a PX, I think Fort Belvoir or Andrews. This guy was sitting there selling these books, and you know, I bought one. Book by a friend of mine, T.J. O'Connor, writes some good stuff. We used to work together. Of course, I'm going to have a Ray Bradbury. Of course. Speaking of comic books, I know you call them graphic novels today, but they'll always be comic books to me. This is, of course, genius. The movie was great, and I even like that, is it Netflix or HBO that has a sort of an updated version of it. It's actually not that bad. This is one of the best analysis of the Book of Genesis that I've ever stumbled across. Of course, it's by Dennis Prager, who, guy knows what he's doing. And of course, we segue into this, which is a reference book, Vampires, Werewolves, and Other Monsters, which I reference from time to time if I want to pick up some of the arcana involved. Rosemary Ellen, I'm going to say Ghoulie. It fits. Malayan Trilogy, I've already reviewed this on the channel. Same issue, got to figure out how to do a card. Of course, a PKD to Android's Dream of Electric Sheep. I, of course, know that this is the basis for Blade Runner, and I also know that the term Blade Runner doesn't appear anywhere in this. Well, if we're going to talk about classic science fiction, well, of course, Alfred Bester's The Star's My Destination, which first came out under the title Tiger, Tiger. That Rudyard Kipling poem, Tiger, Tiger, burning bright in the shadows of the night. I could have the author wrong, but I think I got the first two lines correct. Nice. The Encyclopedia of Celtic Wisdom. Who put this together? Caitlin and John Matthews. Whenever I am in need of some Druid lore, this is what I go to. An outline history of the American Revolution. Also a reference book that I use whenever I need to get some of my history straight. And it is written by the Dupuy brothers, R. Ernest and Trevor, D-U-P-U-Y. I'm not saying it properly, but they are two of the most well-known military historians in the catalog. A Stephen Hunter, Hot Springs, and it's a Bob the Nailer story, but not really. It's more about Bob the Nailer's father. And let's see, and how he had Earl Swagger, yeah, instead of Bob Lee Swagger, who's the son who's in the, okay, you know, you got it. But it's a really good story, very exciting, as most of the Bob the Nailer or Lee Swagger stories are. The Ghouls. These are the stories from which your favorite Universal and Hammer films were made. It's edited by Peter Haining, and it's got an intro by Vincent Price. And an afterword by Christopher Lee. Perfect. So, Who do we have? And it's dedicated to Boris Karloff. So we've got Francis Oscar Mann, Edgar Allan Poe, of course. The Ray Bradbury story, Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. The Fly, George Langeland, and Freaks by Todd Robbins. A whole bunch of others. The Day Before Midnight, another Stephen Hunter. This is a standalone, not a Bob Lee or Earl Swagger story. It's okay. I have no idea. This one I picked up at a Science Fiction Writers Association conference. I've already reviewed it. It's called Elements of Mind. This is a pretty decent novel. Paperback version of Band of Brothers that I picked up somewhere. A yearbook from 1973. That's it. When I get lazy again, we'll do another shelf. Old guy here.